In 2017, Aldi announced they were planning on becoming a major competitor in the U.S. grocery store market, investing a mind-blowing $3.4 billion into the current and future American endeavors. If you don't have an Aldi near you now, one might be popping up soon. So what can you expect? Here's the fascinating history behind this up-and-coming U.S. chain. Mom and Pop Shop. Aldi is a multi-million-dollar global company, but it started with a single grocery store in Essen, Germany, called the Karl Albrecht Spirituosen- and Lebensmittelshop. Karl Albrecht and his wife opened their doors in 1913, but it wasn't the elder Albrecht's first career choice. It was only after emphysema brought his work in the mines to a halt that he opened the store. Their sons, Theo and Karl, took it over in 1945 and later took the company global. And believe it or not, that original location is still open today. Both brothers served with Germany during the war, and when they returned home, it was to a post-war Germany that clearly had no use for all the fancy extras that grocery stores typically came with. They developed their Spartan business plan based on what they knew post-war shoppers wanted: a good product, full stocks, and affordable prices. Short-staffed. Aldi is a different kind of grocery store when it comes to staffing, and according to their recruitment guidelines, there are only 4 different positions they fill: store manager, assistant store manager, store assistant, and caretaker. Job descriptions on their site are frustratingly vague, and according to people who have worked there, that's on purpose. According to responses on Indeed, staffing is kept to a minimum, with only 8 to 10 people being employed at each store. This low level of staffing may be part of the reason they're able to keep prices so low, but it also stresses out the employees. More than 2,000 employees reviewed Aldi on the UK employment site Glassdoor, and only about half would recommend working there. There's a definite trend in what people have to say, too, with employees saying that while pay, benefits, and opportunities are good, they often found a difficulty in balancing work life with their home life and even getting enough hours to make the money they needed. Skimpy staffing and penny pinching can be seen all the way down to their shopping carts, which shoppers have to pay a deposit to even use. You'll get the money back as long as you're a good citizen and return the cart, but it simply has to do with their bottom line. When customers return their carts, Aldi doesn't need to pay someone to do it. When they close at 9 p.m., earlier than many grocery stores, they also save money on staffing and overhead. And when you see food in crates on shelves rather than the usual display, that's also to save bucks. It just takes less time to put a whole box of food on the shelf, which helps when you're required to clear a whole pallet of stock in 30 minutes. So if your bag boy seems stressed out, don't worry, it's not your fault. Nick Fit. Today, there are actually 2 different Aldis: Aldi Nord and Aldi Süd, or North and South. In the 1960s, Theo and Karl Albrecht couldn't agree on whether or not they were going to allow their stores to sell cigarettes, so instead of compromising, they divided the company in half. Theo took the North, while Karl took the South. You can tell the difference by looking at the logo. North's logo is a basic blue and white. South's logo is orange and blue. It's the Southern Aldi that's a bit fancier, and when it came time to expand to the rest of the world, those countries were divided up too. Stores in areas like the UK, Ireland, and Australia are all Aldi Süd, while you're shopping at Aldi Nord if you go into France or Poland. Trader who? There's only one country where Aldi Nord and Aldi Süd share pieces of the grocery store pie, and that's in the US. You wouldn't know it though, and that's because Aldi Süd does business as Aldi. Aldi Nord goes by a different name, Trader Joe's. Shocking, we know. But Trader Joe's is just an Americanized version of Aldi. Many elements have changed, but some remain, especially private labeling and a definite lack of advertising. It all makes sense now, doesn't it? Making dough. In November 2010, hundreds of Aldi stores across Germany created a major controversy over fresh baked bread. According to Aldi, their Backofen machines would spit out freshly baked rolls made to order in a matter of seconds. While Aldi claimed the machines were a technological innovation, the German Bakers' Confederation say they were an affront to the country's centuries of baking traditions, and that Aldi was outright lying about how fresh-baked the bread really was. By the time Aldi and the bakers met in court in 2011, 1,770 Aldi Süd stores were equipped with a machine. Courts ordered Aldi to let them inspect the machines, but Aldi said no, saying that they were protecting trade secrets. The German Bakers' Confederation claimed false advertising and accused Aldi of skimping on ingredients. It's not all bad food news, though. For your health. Despite the controversy surrounding Aldi's business practices, they've also made some unquestionably positive moves in the interest of public health and the environment. In 2015, Aldi announced they would no longer manufacture or sell products with partially hydrogenated oils, artificial and synthetic coloring, or added MSG. According to CEO Jason Hart, about 90% of the products sold at Aldi are their own brand, so that gives them some serious control over the ingredients in the food they sell. If you haven't noticed a difference yet, you won't. They didn't make the announcement until after they'd already done it. But that's not all. In 2016, Aldi announced that any suppliers who wanted to keep selling their products to the grocery chain needed to phase out any and all pesticide-containing chemicals that were harmful to bees by 2017. The requirements went above and beyond the partial ban previously written into law by the EU. You like honey? And, well, every fruit and vegetable ever? You're welcome.
If you've ever shopped at Aldi, you know they save you money. Lots of money. Their legions of fans will attest to the fact that they're not selling cheap, inferior products. So how do they get those prices so low? It turns out there are a ton of ways Aldi got creative with cutting costs so they can pass those savings on to you. Let's break down how they really do it. Prime time. Staying open late might be convenient for the customer, and some of us even prefer going grocery shopping in the middle of the night. Those that do it to avoid the crowds, and since there's not too many people shopping at midnight, that means grocery stores are spending more than they're making. Aldi eliminates the problem by only opening during peak shopping hours, and that means they usually close at 7, 8, or 9 p.m. It cuts down on everything from staffing costs to utilities, and according to Aldi Corporate, a lack of late-night noise makes them a great neighbor too. Added benefit? Daytime hours means no werewolves. Everybody wins. Taking the air out. Ever ripped open a bag of chips or cereal to find half of it's filled with air? That's actually called ullage. And minimizing the ullage in their packaging is one way Aldi saves money. Less air means smaller boxes and bags for the same amount of product. The smaller packages create some serious savings from start to finish. Items cost less to package, more fit on a single pallet, more fit on a truck, stocking the store can be done with lower fuel costs, and once the products are there, they take up less room, making stocking way more efficient. The effect is so substantial, it's hard to believe more places don't do it. Help us out. There's nothing more annoying than going to Aldi and realizing you've forgotten your shopping cart quarter. But that little inconvenience keeping you from accessing the carts for free saves you a ton of money in the long run. Plus, too many rogue shopping carts is totally dangerous. Since customers are doing the legwork and returning carts to the trolley at the front of the store, Aldi doesn't need employees to do it. Labor costs are one of any business's biggest expenses, and every little bit helps, especially when it adds up to hours and hours of time saved every week. They spend extra up front. According to documents released by Aldi that detail their requirements for a location, they're incredibly specific in what they look for. Not only is the perfect Aldi location on a street corner and near other stores, but the cost-saving measures start at this stage of the game too. Aldi says their carefully placed stores are built with only the best, most durable, and long-lasting building materials. It'll cost more up front, but they're thinking long-term. Aldi properties tend to cost the company less over time because of low maintenance costs, few things that need replacing, and they sustain little to no wear and tear. The benefits are twofold. It saves them money and it makes them a good neighbor. Just the essentials. You won't need to choose from 20 different types of brown rice when you go to Aldi, and that's because they limit their stock. You might have noticed this, but you might not realize just how limited your choices are. Aldi keeps around 1,400 core items in stock all the time. That sounds like a lot, but not when you compare them to competitors like Kroger and Wegmans. On average, these Aldi competitors keep around 30,000 core items. That's a big difference.
They probably have 40 different kinds of tea. So a rational, thoughtful, careful shopping trip, you'd be dead of starvation before you finish shopping.
Limited stock allows Aldi to save money by buying in bulk. Instead of 20 different types of ketchup, Aldi buys a huge quantity of one or two kinds. After that, all those bulk discounts make their way to you. And let's face it, you need a lot of ketchup.
Oh, that's enough ketchup. Come on. Yeah.
I like it.
Private label. Aldi Corporate says more than 90% of the items on their shelves are part of their own private label, and there are many reasons they do this. Not only does it allow them to keep strict quality control measures in place, but it also allows them complete control over everything that happens along the supply chain. This eliminates a part of the process that increases prices at other stores: the middleman. There are no extra markups, and since Aldi is doing so much in-house, they're able to pass along some serious savings. Produce and perishables.
What's this place called?
This is, I believe, called food libraries.
As much as some people like the store, Aldi isn't for everyone. The store has limited selection when it comes to things like produce and perishable items, and actually that's on purpose and built into their business plan. Since there's no guarantee something super perishable like fruit or vegetables will sell before it goes bad, they minimize their risk by stocking less of it. The company has said that its goal when it comes to ordering, stocking, and selling perishable items is simple: minimize waste. It saves them money, it saves you money, and the food that doesn't sell often goes to charitable organizations to make sure it goes to good use. Just in time, just enough. Take a glance around an Aldi store and check out the footprint. There's not a whole lot of space for storage, and that's by design too. Unlike a lot of stores, Aldi doesn't have a majority of their cash tied up in merchandise, and that's because they use an inventory system called the just-in-time model. So how does that help? It means they're able to lower their operating costs by not keeping a supply of stock in warehouses and storerooms. That new stock is ordered only when it's absolutely needed, and it relies on the ability to keep ridiculously good tabs on demand and product movement. It's risky. If there's a breakdown in the supply chain, it could be disastrous, but Aldi's reliance on their own private label brands give them an advantage here too. Stocking shelves the easy way. When it comes to getting product off the truck, into the store, and on the shelves, Aldi has it down to a science. Product is typically shipped in the same boxes it's going to be put on the shelves in. Their boxes aren't just boring old cardboard, but specially designed to look like they're a part of the display. Milk is shipped preloaded onto racks, so it just needs to be wheeled into place with no need to shuffle around new and old product. Some things, like basic baking supplies, will always be found on the lowest levels of Aldi's shelves, and that's because they're put into place still on the pallet. Since stocking takes Aldi's employees a fraction of the time it takes other stores' employees, that frees them up to do other tasks and cuts back on labor costs. Do you work here? While a traditional grocery store might have dedicated roles for everything from stocking shelves and running the cash registers to maintaining the deli counter, Aldi keeps staffing to a minimum by expecting employees to be versatile enough to fill a variety of roles. If you're looking at career opportunities available in the US, you'll find Aldi stores hire a store manager, manager trainee, shift manager, and store associate. What you won't find are job descriptions, and that's because there are a huge variety of tasks each employee is expected to handle. Aldi's pretty mum on how many employees they officially have, but according to an Indeed Q&A, there are between 8 and 10 people employed at every store, and there are never more than 4 on shift at any given time. Everyone's expected to do a little bit of everything, and that means there's little downtime for employees. They're compensated well, but Aldi says right up front the job isn't for everyone. Energy efficiency. The smaller footprint of Aldi stores is just one way they minimize their operating costs. All Aldi stores are designed and outfitted to be as environmentally friendly as possible. Many Aldi stores are running on a complete energy management system that monitors the energy impact of everything from lighting to cold storage. New stores are outfitted with the most efficient technology, and older stores are routinely upgraded to make sure they're running at peak efficiency. That includes being equipped with things like LED lighting, natural lighting, energy-saving coolers and freezers, and they also use heat recovery technology that lowers their heating costs by as much as 30%. BYO bag.
Do you have your reusable bag?
On the surface, it seems like another inconvenience. When you go to Aldi, you'd better remember your reusable shopping bags, or you're going to be buying some more bags. They don't just do it to be environmentally friendly. Handing out shopping bags adds up when you take into account all of Aldi's customers worldwide. And if they're not buying bags for every one of those customers just to throw away, that's a huge savings they're passing on to you and the planet.
As any Aldi veteran will tell you, a successful shopping trip takes know-how. But of course, developing this knowledge can take a lot of trial and error. So to give you a head start on your next shopping foray, we've got some tips to help you avoid those rookie mistakes and make your next Aldi adventure a smashing success. The self-returning carts. They're an iconic part of the Aldi experience. In a world of credit cards and Apple Pay, where cash has become virtually unnecessary in most places, that initial walk from the car to your local Aldi door still brings with it the requirement to somehow dig up a quarter in your purse or your wallet. Maybe check under the driver's seat? If you're trying to seriously get your Aldi shopping on, you're going to need a full-size cart to haul away your goodies. But if you can't find a quarter, you'll end up out of luck. That's why getting an Aldi quarter holder for your keychain can be the right move. It guarantees that as long as you have your keys with you, you won't have to be that one customer carrying way too many things around in your arms. Plus, having this nifty doohickey dangling from your keys is the perfect way to send the signal to everyone around you that you mean business. At Aldi, anyway. A quarter isn't the only thing you need to bring when you head to Aldi. You need to remember your own bags, too. Obviously, reusable shopping bags at any store can be nice, but at Aldi, you definitely want to BYOB or you're literally going to pay for the mistake since they don't provide free bags. While any reusable shopping bags will do the job, what you really want is shopping bags that hook right into the cart. Since one of the ways Aldi keeps the prices so low is by not having anyone bag your groceries, you're going to need to do the bagging yourself. If you can pop some already open shopping bags right into the rim of your cart once you've emptied it onto the belt, it can make the whole process easy as pie.
Don't come crying to me if you eat your piece too fast.
The truth is, the modern world's shift away from the typical 9-to-5, Monday through Friday work week has made shopping at specific times of the day in order to avoid the crowds less important. Unless you're shopping on the Sunday before Christmas or the Saturday before the Super Bowl, of course. But that doesn't mean there aren't other reasons to plan your Aldi trips around a certain day of the week. In fact, there's one factor that affects this choice in particular, and that's restocking. Aldi typically restocks their Aldi Finds section in most of their markets on Wednesdays, with literally dozens of new products hitting the shelves all at once. It's the best time to both check what new specialty items have been introduced to the mix, as well as what other things have been discounted and are on the way out. It can be a great time to nab a deal.
That's amazing.
I know! Who'd have thought you could save 30% on these products at Aldi?
Another thing that any Aldi shopper should always keep in mind is that not all prices are equal. While Aldi has a well-established reputation for providing quality products at very affordable prices, that doesn't mean every single item in your local Aldi is going to be a clearance-level steal.
We're at the store for the little old lady who takes 10 minutes counting out exact change.
For one thing, it's important to remember that Aldi portions are much harder to judge than you might think. They often provide products in smaller quantities, but at the same time, their simpler packaging model can also make it hard to tell how different Aldi brands really are from comparable items in other stores. The point here is that between the size and packaging differences, it can be hard to easily judge how much of a deal you're actually getting. Sometimes it can be a steep discount, and other times the savings add up to just a few cents, or none at all. You're going to want to keep that calculator app handy and be ready to do some quick price checking on a case-by-case basis if you want to be able to find the best deals.
I like her numbers.
Most Aldi customers know that the supermarket chain is always stocked with a plentiful supply of grocery store staples. But what many newbie shoppers often fail to notice is that they also have a small, often overlooked specialty section called Aldi Finds or Special Buys. One of the reasons it gets less attention is because it often looks like it's filled with random paraphernalia that has nothing to do with your shopping list. But that randomness is exactly why you need to be checking it out on a regular basis. The Aldi Finds section is actually chock full of products that are impressively priced and can range from limited-time food items to gift ideas, back-to-school specials, and even seasonal decorations. And if you find something you love, stock up. It's not going to be there for long.
Not bad.
Hang on.
Dave just said his pie's not bad.
But Dave doesn't like anything.
Go tell your dad.
One thing you may have heard from a lot of different folks is the fact that Aldi may have some great prices, but because of the sometimes disheveled open boxes and small selection in the produce section, it doesn't come across as the kind of place where you should get things like fruits and veggies.
It's crappy, no variety, it's boring, we've got terrible lighting in those stores.
But if you push past that initial impression, you'll find that the presentation of an Aldi store isn't an indicator of a lack of quality. It's simply a direct result of the desire to keep those prices so darn low.
Only the specialist, most amazing products in all the world make it into Aldi stores.
Yes, they tend to stock less overall variety in their produce section, but that comes from a deliberate attempt to not have anything perishable go bad on a regular basis. They're just stocking what people are buying. A lot of people tend to avoid the fresh produce at Aldi like it's Walmart quality, but the truth is, it's just a different yet well-structured approach to providing fresh fruits and veggies. Those who've tried it say it's good quality, so don't be afraid to add them to your list. Another area that doesn't get a lot of love is the Aldi meats department. But once again, the pared-down, simplistic look of an Aldi meat case doesn't automatically imply low quality, and neither do the low prices. Aldi meats can more than hold their own against other, larger stores that have a reputation for top quality. From their bacon to their whole chickens and everything in between, the meat at Aldi is carefully sourced and well labeled. But there's one specific label that you're going to want to look for. The Aldi Never Any label is a great sign that the meat you're about to purchase hasn't been overprocessed or overloaded with chemicals. The Never Any seal indicates that the animal was raised on a vegetarian diet that did not include any steroids, antibiotics, or hormones. And that's something we can all be happy about. Aldi's commitment to providing healthier options for their customers doesn't stop at their meat offerings. From their Live G-free, gluten-free products to their Earth-grown line of vegetarian and vegan goodies, Aldi has their health food bases covered. The best and most prolific label you'll see stamped on products all over your local store, though, is probably going to be their Simply Nature certification. This simple label indicates that a product is either organic or non-GMO project verified. It also means the product is devoid of artificial ingredients and preservatives. The basic goal with the Simply Nature label is to keep the extra ingredients and processing to a minimum. It's a great label for any savvy shopper to keep an eye out for. One super delicious category to watch out for is the specially selected line of products. This label signifies high-end quality, and we're not just talking about better than Walmart level either. We've already established that pretty much anything at Aldi is going to beat that. But with many of their gourmet items, and with the specially selected items in particular, Aldi has decided to up the ante. At the top of their list of elite foods is their dairy selection.
This is no ordinary cheese. This is Aldi's award-winning cheddar.
While you can always pick up a cheap bag of pre-sliced cheddar or a handful of Colby Jack cheese sticks, if you look a little bit closer, the Aldi specialty cheese section is a wonder to behold. From well-aged cheddar, deliciously ripe Asiago, mild and smooth brie, and specially selected Gouda, to several different uniquely handcrafted cheeses infused with a variety of different flavors, Aldi gourmet cheeses are an absolute bargain. Coming in minimalist packaging and small sizes, these cheeses are incredibly well priced, making them the perfect option for assembling your next cheese platter, or maybe just to have on hand to go along with a big glass of wine at the end of a long day. Aldi often front-loads their candies in the first part of the store, with the cheaper Hershey Classics stocked front and center on the shelves. And it's easy to walk right by since you can get those chocolate staples pretty much anywhere you go. But there's something else tucked away there next to the big name brands, and it's worth pausing to consider. We're talking about Aldi's higher-end chocolate selection.
Oh, luxury chocolate. Someone's splashing out.
You'd think, but it's from Aldi.
Aldi?
While it's difficult to pin down exactly which chocolates you're going to have in any one store, they're worth nibbling on either way to see how they compare to that Hershey bar sitting one shelf over. With a sweeping variety of brands to choose from, these sweet treats are refined options with very low price tags. The dark chocolates in particular stand out when compared to most higher-priced alternatives and tend to impress even the pickiest of palates. The cherry on top of it all is that Aldi's top brass have expressed their goals to go above and beyond when it comes to getting Fair Trade, Rainforest Alliance, or UTC certified chocolate, so you can indulge with a clean conscience. Most people associate Aldi with food, since the whole store feels like a supermarket. But that doesn't mean they're not stocking other non-edible and totally awesome products as well. The house and home section of the store is often associated with Aldi Fine selections, but the products are amazing enough that they deserve their own mention. From coffee machines, baking dishes and utensils, to office furniture, tables, decor, and storage solutions, this section of Aldi never ceases to amaze. The trick here is to check the section regularly, find the things that you know you want to get, and then keep an eagle eye out for when they look like they might be running low. There's usually a golden window of time in which the items are discounted but not yet completely sold out. And that's when you shove that quarter in your cart and get shopping.
Aldi attracts lots of shoppers with its low prices, but some items aren't even worth the low cost. Since they're sealed in cans, it's not always easy to tell which canned foods hit the mark and which ones miss. So we identified these, the canned foods at Aldi you should skip. Do all you can to avoid Brookdale pork luncheon meat. This gross stuff is a knockoff of Spam that will make you shudder from the moment you smell it. It smells so bad that you might not even want to taste it. If you do taste it, you'll be perplexed that this Spam imitation somehow tastes even worse than it smells. And then there's the texture. It's rubbery and breaks apart if you try to heat it up in a frying pan like Spam. Real Spam has a lot of flavors a lot of people love, but there's nothing that you'll enjoy about the Brookdale pork luncheon meat. Unless you plan on buying it to feed your worst enemy, there's no reason for this canned junk to end up in your cart. Simply Nature Organic Lentil Soup is organic and free of artificial flavors. It's also free of natural flavors. There's just no flavor at all. On your first spoonful, you'll realize it's
ultimately a flavorless lump of sadness.
If you look at the picture on the can, you might be tempted by all the lentils that are in this soup. And while there are certainly a lot of lentils, they're soggy and somehow get even soggier when you heat it up. If you do for some reason buy a can of Simply Nature organic lentil soup, be ready to add flavoring to it for any hope of making it edible. Adding meat or at least some spices will help with swallowing this stuff, but the mushy texture will remain a turn-off no matter what you do to it. There's simply nothing to like about Casa Mamita traditional refried beans. This Aldi exclusive manages to ruin refried beans, which, truthfully, isn't easy to do. Firstly, it's oddly fibrous and annoyingly chewy. Refried beans shouldn't be difficult to eat, but these get stuck in your teeth and then your throat.
They're doing.
Second, the flavor is all wrong. These refried beans have an oily taste that overpowers anything you mix it with. Even salsa is no match for the overpoweringly bad taste. Though the refried beans are high in fiber, high in protein, and low in fat, it just doesn't matter. Aldi could give cans of it away for free and it still wouldn't be worth bringing home. Mandarin oranges sound like a safe bet. But something went horribly wrong with Sweet Harvest mandarin oranges in light syrup. These somehow have almost no flavor. The light syrup is a watery substance that is only slightly sweet, and the actual oranges are smaller than you would expect.
Even without the sweetness or flavor, this can of disappointment still manages to pack in 8.5 grams of added sugar.
If you are going to consume added sugar, make sure you can actually taste it. For some yummy canned fruit from Aldi, go with Sweet Harvest peach slices in heavy syrup. The peaches are amazingly delicious and the syrup is so good that you could drink it by the glass. Brookdale chili with beans is a failure when it comes to flavor, even though it's loaded with salt. It's possible to get a can of this chili for less than $1 at times, but it's not even worth that. Don't even try to eat it straight out of the can. The meat is rubbery and the beans are hard. And while the chili is slightly spicy, neither the meat nor the beans are flavorful enough to make it enjoyable. You could consider using Aldi's Brookdale chili with beans as a base for a chili and cheese dip, or add some ground beef to it along with some hot sauce in order to make a chili worth eating. But a better idea is to buy a quality canned chili to begin with, or just go to Wendy's. If you eat a can of this soup, the fact that it is organic won't be able to mask your disappointment, unfortunately. The biggest issue is the chicken, pieces of which are few and far between. Even when you are able to find the chicken pieces, they are so stringy that they're really insubstantial. And the noodles aren't much better. They dissolve instantly in your mouth and are forgettable at best. The slices of organic celery and organic carrots have the opposite problem. Instead of being too soft and too easy to miss, they are too crunchy and distracting. To put it bluntly, Northern Catch pink salmon smells like cat food. While Whiskers and Mittens may get excited when you open a can of this stuff, you surely won't. The cat food aroma is the first sign that you made a bad selection at Aldi, but it won't be the last. Canned salmon can be really good, and it has an impressive array of health benefits. It can actually be almost as good as fresh salmon, but Northern Catch pink salmon is a thorough disappointment. Beyond the smell, you will find that the can has too much salmon skin and bones in it. To add to the misery, the skin is tough and the bones are too rigid. Usually you can ignore the bones that you find in canned salmon, but these bones are so noticeable that you will need to pick them out one by one before you think about eating it. Do yourself a favor and just throw it away, or give it to your cat, if you think they won't choke on the bones. There are plenty of canned items worth your $1 at Aldi though. Here are a few you should definitely pick up on your next grocery run. If you like baked beans, you will absolutely adore Dakota's Pride Grill style beans. They are perfect to take to a neighborhood barbecue or simply accompany you during a quiet night on your couch as you binge movies.
Beans, Spock, but no ordinary beans.
Dakota's Pride Grill style beans are available in 3 distinct flavors: steakhouse style, southern style barbecue, and brown sugar bourbon. If you can't decide which one to try, start with the brown sugar bourbon. The sweetness from the brown sugar is pleasant, while there's an unmistakable bourbon-flavored kick added to the party. While this bourbon won't make you tipsy, even if you eat a few cans of this stuff, its presence will make these beans even more memorable. An added bonus is the fact that the brown sugar bourbon and steakhouse-style beans are fat-free, while the southern-style barbecue version is 99% fat-free, so you can scarf down all the beans you want without feeling too much regret. Aldi's Simply Nature Organic Tomato Basil Soup ticks a lot of boxes for health-conscious people who love tomato soup. Not only is this soup organic, it also has no artificial flavors or colors. But unlike the bad organic soups we discussed earlier, it also tastes wonderful. Not only does the basil flavor add depth, but this soup is also sweet enough that you'll legitimately enjoy each spoonful. A lot of tomato soup has a watery and otherwise underwhelming texture, but that's not the case with this one. This soup has an attractive thickness that will grab your attention and keep you satisfied from the moment you pour it into your bowl. The richness of the tomato and basil flavors are just calling for cheese to be added to the equation. Whether it's in the form of shredded cheddar cheese or a handful of goldfish crackers, get some cheese in this soup and you'll have yourself a meal that you won't mind eating every day of the week. Not only does Baker's Corner cherry pie filling taste great, but its low price tag will keep you coming back for more. Aldi has a lot of cheap canned foods, but this cherry-powered goodness is arguably the best value on the shelf. For less than $2 a can, you can get 21 ounces of heaven. Obviously, most people will use Baker's Corner cherry pie filling to make cherry pie. That's completely understandable and you won't be disappointed with the outcome. But that's not the only thing you can do to it. For example, you can heat it up in the microwave and then pour it over a bowl of vanilla ice cream for an unbelievable dessert. Or, if you wish, you can eat it straight out of the can. Sure, this might not be the world's healthiest snack, but your taste buds won't protest. Even though this pie filling is less expensive than the other well-known name brands, you're not sacrificing any quality. In fact, you will pleasantly be surprised at how many cherries Aldi is able to fit into one can and the perfect texture and flavor of each and every cherry. The Brookdale label redeems itself with Brookdale corned beef. It's bursting with flavor, but is affordable enough to stock up your pantry. It might not be as recognizable as the corned beef made by Libby's, but it's every bit as tasty. Brookdale corned beef has a strong salty flavor, but that's part of the joy when it comes to corned beef. If you find it too salty, eat it with potatoes or toast to balance out the flavors. Alternatively, if you want to kick the savory factor up a few notches, eat it with a couple of eggs sunny side up and let the runny egg yolk intermingle with the corned beef. Don't be scared by the label that indicates Brookdale corned beef is made in Brazil. It turns out that about 80% of canned corned beef is made there, including brand names like Libby's. A lot of chicken noodle soup you buy at the store, like that Simply Nature stuff, leaves you disappointed. But Fit and Active chicken noodle chunky style soup is completely different. You don't have to worry about any of those typical pitfalls when you purchase a can of this stuff at Aldi. The first thing you'll notice are the big pieces of white meat chicken in the soup. The chicken chunks are not only large and plentiful, they're also soft and pop with flavor with each bite. Then there are the noodles, which are hearty but don't get in the way of the chicken flavoring. There's also an ample amount of carrots and celery, along with a bit of parsley and a hint of onion. The next time you feel under the weather, a can of Fit and Active chicken noodle chunky style soup can definitely help with what ails you.
Chicken soup cures everything, yeah?
There's a whole lot you can do with the Pueblo Lindo chipotle peppers you get from Aldi. If you have a tolerance for spice, you can eat these peppers right out of the can. While they're far from the hottest peppers in the world, compared to other brands, you'll find that these peppers bring considerable heat. For people with more sensitive palates, you can also use these chipotle peppers to make everything from taco sauce to a marinade for pork ribs. Like most canned chipotle peppers, they rest in adobo sauce. These peppers are also whole, so you don't have to worry about dealing with a lot of bits and pieces. Typically, cream of mushroom soup is completely bland, lacks anything resembling a satisfying texture, and actual mushrooms are somehow an afterthought. Fit and Active cream of mushroom condensed soup from Aldi breaks that mold. When you empty Fit and Active cream of mushroom condensed soup into a bowl, you'll notice a merry band of mushroom pieces swimming around. The bits of mushroom give this stuff a pleasing texture that you'd be hard-pressed to find elsewhere. Once you taste it, the rich mushroom flavors will make you fall in love. And it's pretty healthy. It has only 60 calories per serving and is relatively low in carbohydrates.
If you're on a low-carb keto diet, this cream of mushroom soup will fit perfectly into your daily routine.
Aldi is best known for offering a no-frills shopping experience and ridiculously low prices on groceries as well as home goods and other items. But before you join the crowds, be forewarned, there are a few things you should never ever do when you're shopping there. No, seriously, you're going to want to keep some loose change in your wallet or your car if you plan to shop at Aldi regularly. Why? Because Aldi requires all shoppers to put down a small deposit before using one of the store's carts. Inserting a quarter into a special slot unlocks a single cart for use. Forget your quarter and you just can't get a cart, period. They're all chained up. After you're done shopping and you replace your card in the corral, you'll get your quarter back. It's pretty simple after you've done it once or twice, but it can be intimidating and confusing on your first shopping trip. Of course, you're always welcome to shop without a cart, but that might make your shopping experience more challenging, especially if you're loading up on groceries for the week. The 25-cent deposit is one of the ways Aldi keeps prices low. Instead of hiring extra workers to wrangle up carts in the parking lot, they get shoppers to perform this task. Pretty clever, and shopping cart accidents avoided. If you're planning to hit up your local liquor store before or after shopping at Aldi, think again. Aldi has an incredible selection of award-winning wines and beers. No extra trip needed. Plus, as with all Aldi products, the wine and beer options are super affordable. Aldi has it all and then some when it comes to alcoholic beverages. Red wine, white wine, rosé, sparkling wine, imported beers, premium beers, the list goes on. And if you're overwhelmed by all the options, you can't really go wrong with Aldi's Wines of the Month, which are trendy, new, seasonally appropriate wines selected by Aldi's expert buyer. The grocery chain also picks a beer of the month and notes which food items to pair it with, which is handy if you need some meal prep inspiration. Aldi also offers a rotating selection of limited edition specialty items and also has its own wine label called Winking Owl with 10 varieties to choose from. And you better believe it's cheap. We all know we're supposed to bring our own reusable bags to the grocery store, since this simple step helps keep more plastic bags out of the landfill. But actually remembering to bring them is a true struggle. Even when you keep your reusable bags in the car, it's still hit or miss. Well, you don't want to make this mistake when you shop at Aldi, otherwise it'll cost you. Another way Aldi keeps overall prices down is by charging customers for shopping bags. And since you're likely shopping at Aldi to save money in the first place, paying for shopping bags is counterproductive. Keep in mind that this small fee, which is usually a few cents, may be on top of any fees that your city or town charges for single-use bags, a practice that is becoming more common across the U.S. If you forgot your reusable bags at home or you just don't have any, you're in luck. Aldi has its own line of branded reusable bags available for purchase at stores. If bags just aren't your thing, feel free to grab a large, empty product box or two from the store. If you find yourself painstakingly scouring the aisles for your favorite brands while shopping at Aldi, you're wasting your time, unfortunately. Aldi carries very few brand names. Instead, the chain stocks its shelves with so-called Aldi exclusive brands. In fact, more than 90% of products in most Aldi stores are store-branded. This is yet another way that Aldi helps its customers save money. The grocery chain is able to keep prices low because there are no hidden costs associated with their products, such as money spent on advertising and marketing like you'll find with name brands. There are a few national brands here and there, but not many. The chain began offering these products so that customers could do more of their grocery shopping at Aldi. Some people have strong brand preferences, after all. You may also find a nationally branded product on Aldi shelves because the grocery chain wasn't able to source something similar of the same quality. And don't fret about the quality of these Aldi exclusive brands. They're just as good, if not better, than the national brands you're used to buying. Aldi makes quality a top priority, even while keeping prices as low as possible. If you're taking a road trip, or visiting a new city on business, or spending some time with a relative you don't get to see nearly enough, you might pop into the local Aldi to pick up a few things. But be prepared to be surprised when you look at the price tags of items you usually buy at your local Aldi. They might be higher or lower than you're used to, depending on a few factors. That's because Aldi charges different prices depending on the store location. The grocery chain takes into account local rules, consumer demand, competitors, production and operating costs, and local market conditions when setting prices. And since all of these factors can vary widely, so do Aldi's store prices. If your local Aldi store drops the price for an item you've already purchased at that same store, you can ask the store manager to give you a small refund. Just be sure to bring your receipt with you. But Aldi doesn't offer price matching because it says its prices are almost always lower anyway. There are rare occasions where another retailer beats Aldi's price, but even so, the chain doesn't make exceptions because they're able to help you lower your overall grocery bill week after week. Whether you're paleo, keto, gluten-free, vegan, vegetarian, or just plain hungry, Aldi has got something for you. It's a mistake to believe that just because its prices are lower, Aldi offers substandard products or generic foods that aren't healthy. The chain is super transparent about product sourcing and quality. On the Aldi website, you'll find extensive detail about Aldi's commitment to the well-being of animals, the use of pesticides on fruits and vegetables, sustainably raised or wild-caught seafood, and other related topics. Aldi also uses easy-to-read product labels to clearly and accurately note which products are organic, non-GMO, gluten-free, kosher certified, and beyond. Fun fact, Aldi aims to transition to 100% cage-free eggs by 2025. The grocery chain has also removed certified synthetic colors, added MSH, and partially hydrogenated oils from all of its store-branded products. And that makes your decisions easy.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
We've all been there. Scrolling Facebook on your phone, you stop when you see a deal or offer that seems too good to be true. You click the link and save the coupon to your phone. Voila! Extra savings, right? Not so fast. If you see what looks like an Aldi coupon on social media, you should know that it's a scam. As a rule, Aldi never offers online coupons, period. The only coupons Aldi offers are either sent in the mail or handed out in the store, so be wary of anyone or anything pretending to offer you an Aldi coupon online. They may be after your personal information, or worse, your credit card number.
And for what? For a little bit of money.
There's nothing more frustrating than getting home from the grocery store and digging into a tasty snack you just bought, only to discover that it's not quite what you expected. You're probably kicking yourself for wasting a few bucks on something that turned out to be gross. But not at Aldi. Low prices aside, Aldi is also first class when it comes to customer service. Case in point, the twice as nice guarantee. This initiative means that if you're not happy with a product you bought at Aldi, the store will not only replace it free of charge, but will also give you your money back. You get what you paid for, and then some. That level of customer service is what keeps people coming back for more, even though they have to do a little extra work to shop at Aldi. Bonus, there's no risk in trying something new. While you're scanning Aldi's website or weekly ad each week, be sure to give yourself extra time to peruse the Aldi Finds section. You do not want to accidentally skip these deals. Aldi Finds items range from home decor to outdoor gear to shoes, clothes, and household staples, and they're almost always offered at ridiculously low prices. In the summer, you might find a treasure trove of affordable camping gear and lawn equipment. Other times, well, there's just no telling what you're going to find, then realize you desperately need. This section is often full of items that would make great gifts, especially if you're stumped on what to buy a particular friend or family member. If you don't take advantage of these Aldi Finds, you're seriously missing out. Aldi Finds are often such a good deal that they sell out on the first day, so you'll want to act quickly. In fact, it's not unusual to see a line forming outside the store before it opens on the day Aldi Finds are stocked. Sure, you can take advantage of Aldi's low prices any day of the week, but there's actually some strategy involved to get the absolute lowest prices and best deals at Aldi. Wednesday is the absolute best day to shop at Aldi, because Wednesdays are when employees typically add 40 to 50 new items to the Aldi Finds section. And Wednesdays also mean new promotions, so you can get lower prices on certain fruits, vegetables, and other staples. But don't show up late in the day on Wednesday and expect to snag everything on your Aldi's Finds list, especially around the holiday season. When a product sells out, that's that. Aldi often doesn't restock these limited offers. Another way that Aldi keeps prices down is by keeping staffing numbers low at each store. If you expect to see dozens of employees leisurely wandering around the store, available to answer your questions or gab about produce, you're out of luck at Aldi. On average, the chain keeps 10 employees on staff at each store. This, of course, means that each employee is tackling more job duties than your average grocery store worker, switching from cleaning to stocking the freezer to unloading boxes to running the till at a moment's notice. As a shopper, this means you shouldn't expect to be making idle chit-chat with employees, and you might be shocked at how quickly they rush you through the checkout process. In fact, employees are even timed on how fast they can perform certain tasks, such as scanning items or unloading pallets. It's not bad, just different, and you should be prepared before you head to Aldi. If you're a night owl or early riser who likes to get the week's grocery shopping done while the rest of the world is fast asleep, prepare for some bad news if you plan to do most of your shopping at Aldi. The chain doesn't stay open super late, closing most stores at 8 or 9 p.m. sharp. Most stores open around 9 a.m., which is long after many people have gone to work. Aldi is only open during peak shopping hours, which in most cases means that early mornings and late nights are out of the question. This is yet another way Aldi keeps costs down. Instead of keeping the lights on and paying employees to work when there are just a handful of shoppers in the store, Aldi simply shuts down. If you want to shop at Aldi, you'll need to rearrange your schedule instead of expecting the store to accommodate you.
Even if you already shop at Aldi regularly in the US, there's a good chance you're missing out on some of these tasty finds. Here are the most delicious treats you should definitely put in your cart.
Oh my.
Award-winning rosé. Aldi shook up the wine scene when their exquisite collection, Côte de Provence Rosé 2016, was named Best Rosé under £8, which is only about $9.
That's a really great wine for such a good price.
Little Journey Puffs and Bites. Aldi's Little Journey line of products include everything from diapers to treats for your tot. And bloggers like the Blissfully Exhausted Mama, the Penny Hoarder, and Sarah Fit were all impressed with the quality of this line. According to Aldi polls, Little Journey yogurt bites were voted among the best new products to hit shelves in 2017. Baker's Corner Mix. Bloggers like the Aldi Nerd and Food for Thought, A Literary Feast, were surprised at how good Aldi's mixes turned out. And reviewers at celiacdisease.com say Baker's Corner Mixes score big even when they're gluten-free. Cheese.
You don't need vegetables, Sarah. All you need is cheese.
Enjoy tasting Aldi's specially selected aged reserve white cheddar, which won gold at the 2013 United States Cheese Championship, and Aldi's Priano brand Parmesan and Asiago cheeses, which won gold medals in the American Master of Taste competition in 2016. Chokur. If you love chocolate, you'll love Chokur. It's Aldi branded European chocolate, so it's rich and creamy, and comes in fun flavors like hazelnut cream. Beaumont Coffee. Time to wake up and smell the Aldi coffee. Java fans over at Chowhound were pleasantly surprised by its taste, and Fuji-Kate rates it a top product. For your daily cup of joe, you can't go wrong here. They even have pods.
You used to be water!
Nature's Nectar Juice. In 2012, Aldi's Berry Burst Juice won a Self Magazine Healthy Food Award, and Nature's Nectar Juices were given Aldi's parent-tested seal of approval in 2017. Pasta Sauce. Not only did Aldi's specially selected sauce take home a win in Australia's 2016 Product of the Year competition, but the winning varieties come from each of the 4 major regions of Italy.
I don't like a pasta salsa.
A Great Red. Our final tasting brings us to Aldi's Broken Clouds Pinot Noir, which not only took number 22 on Wine Enthusiast's Top 100 Best Buy Wines for 2016, but Aldi fans voted it into the 2017's Product of the Year competition. Hey, you can't argue with a winner. Cheers!
For more than 40 years, Aldi has delivered high-quality products at ridiculously low prices. But the chain is also known for introducing specialty items that fly off the shelves almost as quickly as they come in. If you don't want to miss out on these one-time-only products and make sure you're taking advantage of the lowest prices Aldi has to offer, we're letting you in on a shopping hack revealed by Aldi's corporate headquarters. The best day of the week to shop at Aldi is, drumroll please, Wednesday. Yes, in most markets, Wednesday is the best day of the week to head to the stores because that's when Aldi rolls out its newest items at the best prices. We're talking 40 to 50 new specialty items packing the shelves at your local stores. These limited stock items are known as Aldi Finds, and if you want them, you better show up early. Aldi sends in only a certain number of each item, and once those items from the Aldi Finds section are gone, they're gone forever. Aldi says these items are ordered months in advance, and there's no way to predict how popular an item will be, so what they get is it. And you honestly never know what's coming next in the Aldi Finds section. They stock their shelves with items for all aspects of living, from camping gear and home design to car accessories and kitchen gadgets. Seasonal items are also a big perk. You might find great sales on college dorm decor and lunch boxes for back to school, or fun pool floats in the summer. Holiday season also brings gifts with prices that seem too good to be true. Aldi Vice President Scott Patton says the reason the store is able to offer these quality product lines at such low prices is because the suppliers focus on producing the single best item they can, keeping costs low by not making multiple varieties of the same item itself. There is one hack to give yourself a leg up, though. Aldi posts all of their weekly ads on their website, so you'll know what kind of finds to expect that week before you get there, allowing you to plan your strategy. Don't be surprised if Aldi puts a limit on how many you can buy, though. If an item is selling extremely well and they don't want to run out too early, Aldi says each store has a right to impose a buying limit. After all, their prices are unbelievably tempting.
It's hard to believe what they say about Aldi. Believe it. Really? Believe it.
There is one glimmer of hope if you stumble upon an Aldi find that you just can't live without, though. Some finds are put on the shelf as test items to see how well they do. Those items that sell well may be added permanently to Aldi shelves. Still, there's no way to know that in advance, so if there's a find coming that you just have to have, set your alarm and get there early. Sales wait for no one. Aldi finds aren't the only reason to hit up the German-born store on Wednesdays either. Eat This Not That shared inside secrets from an Aldi employee who said that on Wednesdays, shoppers can take advantage of the, quote, produce picks of the week. Pineapples are a prime example of produce that gets marked down, and you can score one for only $1. If you're an avocado fan, you'll definitely want to head to the store on Wednesday, where you might find them on sale for just 69 cents each. Think of how much toast spread you can make.
Oh, yummy! Elmo loves toast! Yay!
Before you put your car in drive and speed on over to the nearest Aldi, remember a couple things. First, bags at Aldi aren't free, so make sure you stockpile your own supply of bags to bring with you.
Honey, where are all the bags?
In the bag hutch.
And if you live in a rural area, instead of Wednesday, your new items may actually roll out on Sundays. Be sure to call your nearest store to confirm whether you'll need to skip church to get that discount lawn chair. It'll be heartbreaking if you miss out on these amazing products because you showed up too late.
Aldi is more than your average grocery store, offering incredibly popular foods at bargain prices. So it's no surprise that some of Aldi's favorite signature items have spawned cult followings of devoted fans. Grab your shopping bags. These are the Aldi cult favorites that you don't want to miss. Everyone knows about how great Trader Joe's frozen section is. But did you realize that there are some gems in the frozen section at Aldi too? Among the frozen produce, you will find the glorious bag of sweet, juicy frozen fruits known as the Paradise Fruit Blend, which Delish lists as the #1 Aldi cult favorite item. If you're like a lot of people, there's no way you could use up this wide variety of fruits if you purchase them fresh. This fruit blend allows you to have the perfect combination of fruits at home for smoothies that are truly to die for. Everyone needs something nice, hearty, and comforting every now and then, and that's exactly why you have to turn to the Priano Pumpkin and Sage Ravioli. If you love pasta, make sure you buy more than one package at a time. You'll love the flavor of slow-roasted pumpkin mixed with 5 cheeses. Once you experience one seasonal ravioli product at Aldi, you may have a hankering for more. Luckily, you can also grab some Priano butternut squash ravioli while you're there as well. With adulthood comes a slew of responsibilities, stresses, harsh realities about everyday existence. At least we get to drink alcohol, though. For those who want to combine the nostalgia for their childhood summers and still embrace the few joys of being a fully functioning adult, Aldi's Claffy's frozen cocktails popsicles are a gift from the gods. You get 6 different flavors in every box, and they all boast a 6% ABV. So if you want to feel nostalgic the next time you head to the pool, pack some flavor ice for the kids and include these cult favorite cocktail popsicles for yourself. This Aldi cult favorite is so popular, it landed itself a feature in Cosmopolitan. And it makes sense because this mimosa wine is out of this world.
Wines from Aldi are pure, they're different, and they're outstanding.
At just $9 for a bottle, it's the perfect thing to contribute to your next at-home brunch. Why buy champagne and orange juice when you could just have the two combined for you already?
Apparently, lots of Aldi shoppers agree, as this has been an ultra-popular find at the budget store, which can feel a little fancier thanks to this delicious combination. Cosmo went on to rave about the bottle that has made all of our deepest brunch dreams come true, making sure to mention the 8% ABV in the drink as one of its highlights. Everyone knows about the everything but the bagel seasoning you can find at Trader Joe's, but you may not know about its cousin, the equally delicious Who Needs the Bagel seasoning you'll find at Aldi. And since the Trader Joe's version has a cult following of its own, it just makes sense that Aldi fans would jump on the bandwagon as well. Wondering what to use this seasoning with? Isle of Shame has some great ideas for you, including green beans or roast salmon, and that's just the start of the possibilities. If you know your way around the Aldi universe, then you've undoubtedly heard all about the famous red bag chicken. Granted, that's not the actual name of the product, but you can easily spot this frozen bag of chicken from across the store if you know just the right color to look for. According to Today, the product even has its own Facebook group, which definitely catapults red bag chicken into total cult status territory. If you're looking for chicken that tastes amazing and can be prepared in a flash, the red bag chicken is the way to go. Maybe pick up an extra one the next time you take a trip to Aldi. You may not expect a place like Aldi to have products that are downright luxurious, but that's only if you've never purchased their brioche buns before. Luckily, these buns are what's known as a regular buy at Aldi, which means they're always stocked. No worries about these bad boys disappearing for a season while you pine for their return. You won't get sick of them either, as they can go with many types of dishes. Aldi Reviewer did the dirty work for us here and attempted to explain how and why the buns have attained cult status. If you're looking to bring a little more upscale vibe to your burger or sandwich, these brioche buns are the real deal. They taste great both toasted and as is. Okay, you can't actually buy real Girl Scout cookies at your local Aldi.
Why can't you just buy them in a supermarket? Why are they only available once a year through some weird organization?
But if you're looking for the closest thing to the original, you have to check out Benton's Cookies at Aldi. Benton's offers a lot of different flavors, but you won't believe how close some of them are to tasting like authentic Girl Scout cookies. First of all, Thin Mint lovers rejoice. Benton's got you covered. Just pick up their fudge mint cookies and you'll be taken back to the days when you first got the chance to experience the sweet taste of the signature treat of the Scouts. Samoas are also among the most popular Girl Scout cookie flavors, and Benton's caramel coconut fudge cookies are pretty much identical. We decline to admit whether we are, in fact, eating these out of the package right now. Some Aldi cult favorites are always on the shelves of our local Aldi store, while others are there on a less permanent basis. And sometimes, when they're gone, it makes us miss them even more. One such product is Clancy's Cinnamon Apple Straws. They're popular for a reason. They're light and crisp, but they're not like chips. Instead, they're sweet and perfectly flavored for fall. It basically tastes like autumn in a bag. But unfortunately, desperate customers have scoured the shelves at times to find the stores of these glorious cinnamon apple straws completely depleted. That's why one Redditor took to the platform to express their distress and find out when and where they could get some more. Whenever they do come back in stock, you should make sure you fill up your cart. After all, how do you know when you're going to see them again? Look, we all love a good glass of wine, but unless you're a wine expert, which you're probably not, you most likely don't want to fork out a ton of money just to get your sip on. Well, luckily, if that's your MO, Aldi's got you covered. That's because you can stock up on their insanely popular Winking Owl wine while you're there. The little Winking Owl logo gives it away that you're about to pop open a bottle of the good stuff. And at a low price point of around $3, you know you're not going to get a better deal than that unless you head to Trader Joe's for their $2 chuck. There are several different varieties of Winking Owl wine available at Aldi stores, but you won't see the same ones at every location. So you should be willing to shop around a little bit if you want to find the right one. And while you're at it, why not stock up on the others just to compare and be safe? Wondering which one to get? If you want the most popular option with the best reviews, try the Shiraz. Many different publications all claim that it's a fantastic wine for the price, though to be honest, they're all excellent. If we're going to have a discussion about the Aldi products that can claim cult status, we definitely can't leave Chocur milk chocolate peanut butter cups off the list. Why? Because this might just be the most popular sweet treat you can find at your local Aldi. You may have thought you couldn't get a better peanut butter cup than the famous Reese's, but some Aldi customers have to disagree. According to Delish, what sets these cups apart from any other is the ratio of peanut butter to chocolate. Aldi devotees seem to love the peanut butter filling more than a Reese's cup, calling it creamier and more delicious. All the deliciousness of Reese's with the added benefit of creamier peanut butter? Count us in. You may not think you can get any fancy wine at Aldi, but you're wrong. Enter Aldi's Côtes de Provence Rosé. Don't worry, you're not going to have to pay a ton. In fact, this stuff comes in at just $8 a bottle.
I'd like your $8-est bottle of wine, please.
And that's just one of the reasons why it has attained a cult-like status in the hardcore Aldi community. It also tastes great. So much so that the store sold out of this wine super fast in both 2017 and 2018 when it first came onto the US market. Even if you're trying to reduce your carb intake, you can still enjoy every single bite of the zero net carbs wheat bread that you'll find at Aldi. Not only does this product have an Aldi cult following, it also has a keto following that sings its praises. Look, if you are not into the whole keto or low carb thing, you may not see what all the fuss is about. But for those who are desperate for a tasty keto option, it makes sense that we'd all flock to this Aldi cult favorite. The Happy Farm string cheese you'll find at Aldi is definitely a favorite amongst a wide variety of buyers who love a little dairy in their lives. You'll immediately get some childhood nostalgia when you break open a package of Happy Farm string cheese. Stash them in the fridge for when you're hungry for a quick snack that's just a little bit entertaining to eat.
There are a ton of people who swear by Aldi, but plenty of others have never been, sometimes thanks to untrue rumors or misconceptions. It's time to clear those up. Here's what everyone gets wrong about Aldi. Aldi's prices are low already, so coupled with a coupon, the deals would be irresistible. But unfortunately for coupon cutters, for the most part, Aldi doesn't recognize them. Not only does the chain not honor manufacturers' coupons, but they don't typically issue their own either. This policy hasn't stopped a number of online scams from popping up offering fraudulent Aldi coupons, though. These scams usually ask people to complete some sort of survey, luring people in with the promise of ludicrous discounts. But Aldi doesn't have anything to do with this racket, and has warned customers that coupon deals they might see online are usually fake. Some of them are clearly too good to be true, with insane offers promising $75 off any purchase of $80 or more. A real scam that circulated in 2017. On very rare occasions, Aldi may release coupons, but never digitally. They'll either come straight to your mailbox or be available in store.
Ma'am, do you save shopping at Aldi?
You bet. I save about $20 every time I shop at Aldi.
Private label brands help keep Aldi's prices low, and they also give the stores more control over what goes on their shelves. But when Aldi expanded into America, they found that what shoppers really wanted were their name brand favorites. As a result, Aldi listened and tweaked their supply to suit consumer demand. It makes for a shopping experience that's a little different from what the chain offers in Europe. Name brands are a relatively recent addition to Aldi's US stores. While private label brands still make up about 90% of what's on shelves, the chain can be more of a one-stop shop than people give it credit for. If you're going out to dinner at a colleague's house, sometimes you want to bring a nice bottle of wine, but you probably wouldn't go to Aldi for it because that's cheap wine, right? Well, it is affordable, but it's also award-winning. Aldi has a lot of wine to choose from, with almost every variety having received awards or high review scores. Specifically, Colangelo and Partners certified sommelier, Lydia Richards, has highly recommended a number of bottles that came in under the $10 price point, whether it's red, white, rosé, or Prosecco.
I like this champagne. And I like this champagne.
The coin-operated locks on Aldi shopping carts have given rise to some misconceptions, at least in the United States. In Europe, it's standard practice to have coin-operated locks on shopping trolleys to encourage people to return the carts to their proper places. But the practice can look strange to Americans used to dumping their carts wherever for a store employee to collect. Uninitiated shoppers may think they have to pay a fee to take a cart at Aldi, which isn't true. Instead, your coin is like collateral. You use it to unlock the cart, and then you get it back without hassle as long as you return the cart where it belongs. It's a move which keeps costs down, with the store never needing to pay employees just to chase down stray carts. Aldi's produce has a reputation for being something of an afterthought, with little more on offer than bruised and flavorless fruits and vegetables. But that's been changing recently. In 2017, Aldi began a massive $5.3 billion expansion into the American marketplace. And a big part of that expansion strategy has involved improving the store's produce selection. New stores the company is building are making produce a priority, and older ones are being remodeled as part of the same pursuit. Now the stores offer organic produce, ready-to-eat sliced fruits, single-serve veggie and fruit packs, and salad bowls. The initiative is having a real effect, with the chain's organic produce sales having reportedly increased by about 200% since 2015. Aldi stores carry a relatively tiny number of products compared to their competitors, with around 1,400 core items on offer compared to stores like Kroger or Wegmans, which tend to stock between 30 and 40,000 items. As a result, it might seem like Aldi isn't going to be helpful for shoppers on restricted diets, but that's not exactly true. Aldi US's Simply Nature line consists of around 200 products that are USDA certified organic or verified by the Non-GMO Project. Then there's the Live G-Free line, a gluten-free product line that includes pasta, bread, cookies, and granola. The Never Any line offers meat products certified to be free of hormones, animal byproducts, and antibiotics, while the Earth Grown line is certified vegan and vegetarian. That just about covers everything, right? It's not surprising that some people have complaints about paying for shopping bags at Aldi, but if you're willing to go reusable, they're an investment that can save you money in the long run. In an effort to keep prices low across its stores, Aldi's policy is to charge shoppers 5 cents for paper bags and 10 cents for plastic ones. It's not a lot of money, but it can still be annoying if you're not expecting it. More mindful shoppers can pick up some heavy-duty reusable bags for an affordable price, some of which are even thermal and insulated. Over enough trips to the store, they're an investment that pay for themselves. But you don't need to buy a bag from Aldi to score those savings if you don't want to. Just bring your own from home.
Aldi is amazing. That's one thing we can agree on. For one thing, it's just such a fun place to shop. You never know just what you're going to find, but you can always count on getting high-quality chocolate, excellent cheeses, craveable snack items, and wines that range from just okay to pretty awesome. In fact, if you just stroll through the aisle grabbing things at random, you're still likely to wind up with a few new favorites. You also know that you're not going to be spending a fortune, since Aldi is known for its low prices, particularly on such staple items as milk and meat. Another great reason to shop at Aldi is that you'll run a lot less risk of being crowded out by ravening hordes of hipsters than you will at any given Trader Joe's. Even Aldi, however, has just a few blind spots, or rather soft and mushy spots, since the one area in which they tend to be not quite on the same level as other grocers is with their produce selection.
None of those vegetables are fresh.
While most Aldi products get rave reviews, the produce, well, not so much. Wisebread singles out Aldi's garlic, calling its cloves both tiny and difficult to peel, and saying that the potatoes and other produce, including peppers, onions, and bananas, may not be all that fresh, and could be well on its way towards turning into a moldy mess as soon as you bring it home. Cheat Sheet also lists produce as one of its top Aldi don't buys, calling it hit or miss, and also remarking on the fact that it tends to spoil more quickly than does produce from other stores. In a comparison of Trader Joe's produce versus Aldi's, the penny hoarder didn't have too many good things to say about the German grocer's selection either. For one thing, they found the selection to be limited, and several trips were needed to procure the wanted goods. Secondly, the site reveals the offerings were, quote, a tad scary looking. Okay, really scary looking. All the tomatoes were either bruised or smooshed, the bananas were already turning brown, and fruit flies were buzzing around the produce section. Aside from those two rather significant strikes, the penny hoarder also noted that because only bulk-sized bags of certain produce are offered, it's not a good buy for singles. At this point, you might be wondering what's really up with all of the bad press on Aldi produce. Most of the bad reviews regarding Aldi's fresh fruit and veggies tend to revolve around its inability to stay fresh for any length of time, so it seems that the problem might possibly have something to do with how the produce is stored. One review on Consumer Affairs from a shopper who states that they are a huge fan of everything Aldi, aside from its produce department, suggests that one potential reason for the accelerated spoilage could be the fact that Aldi's produce tends to be placed right at the entrance to the store and is therefore subject to temperature fluctuations as the doors open and shut. Fluctuating temperatures are never good for product freshness, which is also the reasoning behind why you should not be storing your milk or eggs in the refrigerator door.
Milk was a bad choice.
A 2017 Business Insider article reveals that Aldi has been taking steps to address the produce problem in some of its newer stores. They will be greatly expanding the produce section and also moving it to a more central location within the store, which ought to help keep temperatures more stable. There will also be a large refrigerated section that will be used to hold salad greens and certain fruits that need cooler temperatures, such as grapes and berries. These refrigerated sections will also feature certain types of pre-made soups and dips. Business Insider compared the look, the layout, and the selection of these newer Aldi stores to the now closed 365 stores that Whole Foods introduced in 2016. All of these changes bode well for the future of buying produce at Aldi. At present, though, unless you're absolutely sure that your local Aldi boasts one of these new and improved produce departments, you might be better off shopping for fruits and veggies at a different grocer. Aldi has had a lot of success in luring people in with its amazingly low everyday prices. But sometimes those prices might not be the great deal that they seem to be. These are the Aldi items that you may want to think twice about picking up. Do you love starting your day with a heaping bowl of Fruit Loops or a totally healthy adult cereal like Raisin Bran? If so, you surely pick up a box or 2 or 3 at the store on a regular basis, so you're always on the lookout for ways to save on this breakfast staple. Unfortunately for Aldi customers, this store isn't the place for that. According to analysts at Kiplinger, even Aldi's store brand cereal can't beat the prices of name brand cereal elsewhere. Their knockoff Raisin Bran costs around $1.99 for 18 ounces, but Walmart sells a 27-ounce box of the real thing for $2.65. This means you might pay more at the time, but you get more, and you ultimately don't pay as much per ounce. Another argument for skipping the copycat cereal Aldi has to offer is that coupon websites, newspapers, and social media pages are constantly putting out coupons for name brand cereal, so you can get even more of a discount on that already low price at Walmart. You don't have to sacrifice the taste you love to get a deal, and you can buy those name brand Fruit Loops without feeling guilty at all.
If Satan can get in there and get you to start your day off wrong, he's gonna do it, trust me, and he's gonna do it through breakfast cereal.
Flour is a kitchen staple, and since we buy so much of it, we are always on the lookout for deals. Unfortunately for all you Aldi-loving bakers, you won't find those deals at Aldi. While flour isn't wildly expensive at your favorite discount store, it does come in a small bag. Instead of getting 10 pounds of flour like you can at other stores, you get 5. And you can't buy in bulk and save. You also aren't saving in general, because if you break it down and compare the price per pound at Aldi to the price per pound at other stores, Aldi's price usually ends up being much higher. On average, Aldi's Baker's Corner all-purpose flour costs 36 cents per pound. Walmart's private label brand Great Value is genuinely a better value, costing just 28 cents per pound. Another item we all go through a lot of is dish soap. If you're like most people, you probably have a brand that you love and are loyal to, no matter what you use it for. But do you switch if you can find a more affordable price from a different manufacturer? Aldi makes a convincing argument for switching. Their private label dish soap brand Riva looks almost exactly like Dawn in terms of packaging and color, and the cost is similar. There's a but. As with all knockoff brands, though, this dish soap may not have the crud-cutting power that we have come to depend on from Dawn. So why should you settle for this fake Dawn when you can get the real thing for an oftentimes cheaper price at another store? Aldi's Riva dish soap typically sells for 8 cents per fluid ounce, but you can usually get genuine Dawn at Walmart for 7 cents per ounce. You might not think that a penny per fluid ounce is a huge difference, but if you think about how many ounces are in a bottle and how often you have to buy dish soap, you'll see that those pennies can really add up.
Excuse me, that's my mother's Westfarthing bottle. It's over 100 years old.
Is there any food in the world more perfect than bacon? Except for the high price tag, at least. This prevents a lot of people from having bacon as often as they want. But with this tip, you just may be able to make all of your bacon dreams come true. When it comes to uncured bacon, you can find comparable deals at Aldi and Trader Joe's. The latter is one of Aldi's biggest rivals in the grocery store game, and after looking at their prices on bacon, it is easy to see why. Aldi's Never Any Hickory Smoked Uncured Bacon sells for about $6.09 for a 12-ounce package, which equates to 50 cents per ounce. Trader Joe's 12-ounce pack of uncured dry-rubbed sliced bacon, on the other hand, only costs $5.59 or 45 cents per ounce. This is a fairly significant amount of savings, so we won't be upset if the bacon lovers decide to make a run to Trader Joe's. This one comes with a bit of a caveat. While it is true that Aldi's store brand products aren't always cheaper than their name brand counterparts at other stores, if we are talking about shopping at Aldi alone, the off-brand items are the way to go. Buying name brand items like Coca-Cola or Frito-Lay at Aldi is a bad idea, unless you just really don't want to settle for a knockoff of your favorite product. Why? Because you can get the almost identical Aldi brand products for much less. There's another good argument for choosing Aldi's house brand over more widely recognized name brands. All those coupons you cut out of the newspaper don't work here. Since Aldi doesn't accept coupons, you can't save money on name brands in this particular store, and you may actually end up paying more for them than you would somewhere else. While Aldi's meat selection is cheaper than other stores when it's on sale, its everyday price is higher than many competing grocery stores. Some of those competing stores, like Trader Joe's, never put their products on sale, which gives Aldi an advantage because it does offer weekly specials on some products. If you're visiting Aldi at a time when meat is not on sale, though, you will be losing precious money. In other words, Aldi meat might be good for the convenience factor, but you're going to have to put in some work to get a good deal on it here. Not every type of meat is included in the store's weekly special promotions, so there's not always a guarantee that you'll get the meat you want at a price that makes your wallet happy. Unless you really want to spend a lot of time calculating deals and keeping an eye on the specials, you would be better off buying meat at your local grocery store instead, especially if it's on sale there. While Aldi's tuna is around the same price per pound as it is at other stores like Trader Joe's, you can save more than $1 on salmon by buying it at Trader Joe's instead of Aldi. Based on this information, Trader Joe's should be your go-to fish market as opposed to Aldi, but you would still be smart to check the prices at your other local groceries and big box stores, as sometimes their deals are better, as is their selection of fish. Fish isn't really something that you should take the lowest price on without making sure the quality is still good, however. The consensus is that Aldi's fish quality is the same as Trader Joe's, so there isn't really any risk here, just savings, if you do some research and choose correctly.
He chose poorly.
If you have a flair for Asian cuisine, you probably can't get enough soy sauce. This tasty sauce can bring life to even the blandest of dishes, making it seem like something magical. But that doesn't mean you have to pay for it like it was made of gold. Aldi offers a small bottle of soy sauce for 10 cents per fluid ounce from its Fuchsia brand, but you can get a bottle that is twice the size at Walmart for just 6 cents per fluid ounce. This is a very significant deal, as you are saving 4 cents per ounce and ending up with much more soy sauce. Don't like the giant bottles you get with other brands? Simply pour some of the sauce into another bottle or into a bowl at each meal so that people can use it as needed. That's a small price to pay for paying a much smaller price for the soy sauce you love. There are several reasons why you shouldn't buy paper products like toilet paper, napkins, and paper towels at Aldi. The first is the price. You can find comparable products at big box stores for the same price, or even cheaper. The second reason these paper products are a bad deal is that Aldi's store brand produces products that have been described as feeling flimsier than other brands. In other words, you're going to need a lot more Aldi brand paper towels to pick up that spill. So you may think you're saving money by buying the store brand, but in fact, you're not saving any money at all, and you're getting a product that is subpar. To make matters worse for Aldi, coupons and sales often make name brands cheaper at other grocery stores than the regular everyday price of Aldi's paper products. With this in mind, it would be a truly bad deal to get the Aldi brand when you know you can get a thicker, better quality product somewhere else for less. Bottom line, you don't have to be a millionaire to enjoy strong, soft toilet paper in the bathroom. You just have to be a clever shopper. Deodorant is another item that most everyone uses every single day, unless we are in the mood to go au naturel. Most people go through a lot of this stuff, so it makes sense that we would always be on the lookout for ways to get it at a cheaper price. But you shouldn't look to Aldi for that. The deodorant at Aldi is just not worth it. There isn't much of a selection, and many of the deodorants available are from name brands. With Aldi's no coupon policy, the prices on these deodorants can't beat the prices at other stores, especially when these items are on sale or you can get a discount. In fact, deodorant may even be cheaper at a pharmacy like Walgreens or CVS than it is at Aldi, which is really incredible considering that the prices at pharmacies are usually much higher than what you would see in grocery stores. To get these low prices, you may have to sign up for CVS's Extra Care or Walgreens Balance Rewards program, but both of these are free to join, so there are really no downsides, unless you don't like your armpits smelling fresh as a daisy.
I'm going out of my way to make us both famous. It's not my fault if you're not living up to your end.
Okay, well, why don't you take my picture now?
Things like shampoo, soap, and mouthwash are usually products that people don't mind going with the generic brand for. One is usually just about as good as another when it comes to actually just doing its job. Because of this fact, you would surely be tempted to fill up your cart with cheap Aldi brand toiletries the next time you're in the store. But don't. The price of toiletries is not just underwhelming, it is actually more expensive than at other stores like Target. Not to mention the fact that Aldi has a very small selection of products. Aldi's Dentiguard mouthwash, for example, costs about a full 10 cents more than Target's brand. Frugal shoppers can still get the cheaper off-brand alternatives they want, but they can get it at a lower price by shopping at places other than Aldi. If you have a big family, you probably go through a lot of toothbrushes. While some people don't switch them out very often, you really should be getting a new toothbrush every 3 to 4 months, and you shouldn't have to pay sky-high prices when you do. The trick? Don't shop at Aldi. Shop on Amazon. There, you can get 40 generic brand toothbrushes for just $12.99, which makes each toothbrush just 31 cents. At Aldi, Dentiguard store brand toothbrushes run around 70 cents per toothbrush, making them a no-no for bargain shoppers. 40 toothbrushes could last you years, and even if you don't need all of them at once, the price point still makes it a better deal than Aldi. So clear out your bathroom closet and head to Amazon instead of Aldi if you want to be a true penny pincher. Aldi is known for their super low prices, but there's one place they cost more than others, and that's their shopping carts. Why does Aldi make you pay a quarter just to use a cart? To answer that, let's rewind and start at the beginning. After Aldi announced their major push into the U.S. grocery market in 2017, many more people came to know and love this discount grocer that European families have counted on for years. But there was also a little culture shock thanks to their unusual shopping cart rules. See, if you want to use one, you'll need to put in a quarter. Then when you return your cart to the corral, you get your deposit back, so you don't actually have to pay to use the cart. But what exactly is the point of inconveniencing customers like this? It's pretty simple, actually. When people return their own carts, Aldi doesn't need to pay someone to spend hours each day going around the parking lot collecting the stray carts like you see at almost every other grocery store.
Bring the cart back and your quarter pops out. So saves them some money and it's pretty easy.
Yeah, so they don't have to pay someone to be out in the parking lot dragging all the carts back in.
And it also helps prevent parking lot mishaps. Have you ever come out from grocery shopping to find a cart sitting against your car, which is now sporting a nice new dent? That just doesn't happen at Aldi. Of course, a quarter isn't much money. So why does almost everyone return their own cart anyway? According to Bryant University management professor Michael Roberto, it probably has something to do with simple human psychology. According to him, it's a combination of the budget-mindedness of Aldi shoppers and the fact that the general public is just unwilling to pay for something we feel should be free, like the use of a cart. It's the principle of the thing. That weird bit of human psychology has created what some Aldi shoppers call their cart etiquette. Say you've loaded up your car and are about to take your cart back. It's perfectly normal at most grocery stores for another customer to offer to take the cart off your hands. It'll save you from walking all the way back up to the store after all. But at Aldi, they'll usually have their quarter in hand and they'll trade you their quarter for your cart. It's just proper. One thing that the return policy doesn't do is prevent theft. And according to NBC News, shopping cart theft is a huge problem across the retail industry. Each cart costs stores anywhere from $75 to $250, and some stores have had such massive losses, they're putting measures in place to stop it, especially since so many stolen carts just end up dumped in random places for no reason.
I'd often wondered how those things ended up in canals.
Some even have perimeter controls that lock the cart's wheels if they cross property lines, but studies have shown that cart rental systems like Aldi's aren't an effective deterrent when it comes to people who just want to wander off with a cart. Apparently, people are willing to pay a quarter for a cart they can keep, even if it's completely against the law.
You see the stuff down here? You see this? Okay, somebody is stealing carts. I'm losing $25 a week to a thief.
Still, not everyone loves the rent-a-cart system, especially since it can be confusing to new shoppers. Which brings us to the real bottom line behind the Aldi shopping carts, which is simple, old-fashioned culture shock. Aldi, of course, is a European chain, and over in Europe, coin-release carts are perfectly normal. But they also aren't really used very much. That's because European refrigerators are traditionally much smaller than their American counterparts. In fact, fridges that we would consider to be standard-sized are sold by retailers like John Lewis as American-style appliances. Because of this, the shopping pattern for many Europeans is different from Americans. Instead of making one big trip to the store every so often and coming home with a huge load of groceries, many European shoppers instead make frequent, smaller trips to the store to buy food for the next couple of days. As a result, their loads are much smaller, meaning that many European Aldi customers don't need or use the carts. So dropping a coin in the slot is no inconvenience at all. They simply avoid the carts entirely. Who knew a simple shopping cart could be so complicated?
Why do the checkout lines move at light speed? And why do I have to bring my own bags? Why do I need a spare quarter every time I come here? Keep watching to find out the answers to these and many other questions about the weird ways of Aldi. If you are a first-time shopper at Aldi, seeing all the items resting in boxes might strike you as a tad abnormal. Worse, you might doubt the employees' diligence. But as it turns out, it is a part of the store's philosophy to not unbox the items from the cases they are shipped in. As per Frugal Bites, heavier things like flour and sugar are left on the pallet. Milk arrives on racks so that 80 gallons can be shelved in just 5 seconds. How cool is that for the employees? Not as cool as you think. Sure, they do not have to spend hours placing individual soda bottles on shelves, but it doesn't give them time to loaf. Aldi keeps much fewer staff than other supermarkets, as Forbes reports. The only staff in an Aldi store are forklift operators bringing in new pallets, a cashier, and possibly a third-party loss prevention agent. Anywho, the boxes are display ready. The color and patterns on them match the items they hold within. Aldi calls it the, quote, Invisible Case Project, a fancy name for the open case boxes that allow shoppers to see what's in them. They are designed in such a way that the shelves and pallets are able to hold the maximum number of these boxes, making sure no space is wasted, reports The Guardian. If your Aldi shopping were a movie, the checkout part would seem like it's always on fast forward, and it feels that way by design. The checkout process is fast, 40% faster than other grocery stores. As one shopper tells Reddit, I like to make it a game. Can I empty my cart faster than they can ring it up? I can never win, no matter how hard I try. I think the game is rigged.
Truth is, the game was rigged from the start.
Only the game is not rigged. The employees have little choice but to be good at it, as they are timed for every checkout and the time it takes for them to move on to the next customer. An Aldi employee told Reddit, Aldi cashiers are supposed to scan 48 items per minute in comparison to the 23 normal grocery stores require. This is why sometimes customers are asked to dip their credit or debit cards even before the total shows up, so that the cashiers can save the few seconds it takes for the machine to scan the cards. Aldi's taste testing process is so rigorous that while we appreciate it, we also wonder, is that normal? The Aldi headquarters in Atherstone, United Kingdom, has a dedicated taste kitchen where knockoffs of popular name brands are created and tested for quality. As per a 2013 report published by The Telegraph, once a food item is created, it is tested 30 times by a panel before it is given the green signal. The tests ensure that the texture, appearance, and flavor are better than comparable products in the market. Once approved, the products hit the shelves, but Aldi still keeps an eye on them. They are tested once every year or as soon as another supermarket launches an item similar to Aldi's. The grocery chain is pretty open about the fact that they create knockoffs of items sold in other more expensive supermarkets, such as Waitrose, Tesco, and M&S. Their attempt is to make versions of the popular items in a much cheaper yet tastier way. According to the company's ex-managing director for buying, Tony Baines, often we will have very similar suppliers to the likes of M&S and Waitrose. The recipes are slightly different, but we'd aspire to always have at least the same chicken or beef content and have the right quality of spices. In the age of Apple Wallet, let's admit it, it's a little weird to have to carry a single 25-cent coin in your jeans pocket when heading to Aldi, but you need it to get a cart. As per the company policy, you have to insert the 25-cent coin in the slot on the cart to unhook it. Once you're finished using the cart, the coin is spat out when you replace the cart in the cart corral. Aldi explains on its website that by having this rule, it doesn't have to hire a dedicated staff to bring the carts from the parking lot to the store corral every time, thereby saving them money. Customers are expected to do the work, and according to an Aldi employee on Reddit, people really care about getting their quarter back. I don't usually have to get any carts from the parking lot. If you don't remember to take your own shopping bag to Aldi, you would either have to scramble for an empty cardboard case in the store or buy their reusable plastic or cloth bag. According to the company, they have never given away free plastic bags ever, a feat that they say has helped keep, quote, 15 billion bags out of landfills and oceans. However, per the Sydney Morning Herald, the grocery chain has been pretty lax about the use of plastic in its produce section by offering plastic-wrapped zucchini, kiwi, corn, carrots, mushrooms, and kale, among others. Having said that, the grocery chain is attempting to make amends and launched a new sustainability charter in 2021, promising to convert all packaging materials to be either reusable, recyclable, or compostable by 2025. As part of this effort, the press release states, they plan to introduce alternative packaging that uses less plastic for produce, such as blueberries, tomatoes, and mixed bell peppers. There have been cases where customers of legal drinking age were refused their bottle of alcohol at Aldi stores because they had brought their children along, such as when a woman was asked to wait for a while at the checkout lane and was not sold her bottle of wine right away, all because she was with her 2 teenage children. As per her Facebook post, while she was eventually allowed to buy the bottle, she was embarrassed and felt labeled as a, quote, bad parent, though she'd done nothing wrong. Her post spurred a series of comments with other shoppers quoting similar instances. One shopper couldn't buy a bottle because her 18-month-old daughter accidentally touched it, and another wasn't allowed a carton of beer because the staff saw her son carry it. As it turns out, in all 3 cases, it was within Aldi's right to decline service. An Aldi spokesperson told Daily Mail Australia, the sale of alcohol can be refused if a minor has handled alcohol that could be potentially purchased by an adult for the minor's consumption. This also extends to a minor accompanying an adult purchasing alcohol, even if the minor has not physically touched an alcoholic product. Aldi doesn't have the conventional display of candies and sugary drinks at the checkout lane, but instead offers individual packages of trail mixes, dried fruits, nuts, and granola bars. The chain took the bold decision to make its checkout section a guilt-free zone in 2016. Jason Hart, CEO of Aldi, said this about the supermarket chain's decision to remove junk foods from its checkout lanes. By introducing healthier checkout lanes and through a number of other initiatives, we are doing our part to remove temptation at checkout and stocking stores with even more nutritious options. Aldi's decision follows that of other supermarkets, such as Clark, Craig, and Burroughs, per a report published in the Center for Science in the Public Interest. There is actual science that explains the all-familiar temptation to grab a few candies and a soda while at the checkout lane. The report explains, simply seeing a product can activate an urge to consume it, and the fact that a product is immediately available to be consumed can intensify this urge. The report goes on to suggest that a shopper's willpower is at its minimum when they reach the checkout lane after having to make multiple decisions while shopping in the store. Add to that the feelings of fatigue and stress, and the shoppers are most likely to pick something from the array of unhealthy options that most supermarkets feature at the checkout lane. Not at Aldi though, no siree. If you are in Aldi, rest assured that your kid won't pester you to load the cart with cereal boxes. There are no Tony the Tiger, Toucan Sam, or Cap'n Crunch equivalents to capture your child's interest. Aldi's own brand cereals, including Harvest Morn Crisp Rice, Harvest Morn Choco Rice, Harvest Morn Frosted Flakes, and Harvest Morn Choco Pillows, lost all traces of cartoons on their boxes in 2020. This way, Aldi reasoned, parents wouldn't be pestered by their kids to buy the cereal, and it would be easier for them to make healthier choices for their kids. Food Dive references a report by the Food Marketing Institute and Rodale that says children have a bigger role to play than you think in determining what their parents purchase. What they see on the food packages influences children's decisions greatly, according to a study in the Journal of Public Policy and Marketing. Naturally, many food giants such as Kellogg, Nestle, and Mondelez have invested gobs of money in marketing products for children, a whopping $1.79 billion, according to a 2012 Federal Trade Commission report. All this kid-focused food was undeniably high in fat, sugar, and added colors. In short, not healthy. So thanks to Aldi for culling the cartoons.
This is how we handle things down in Toontown.
Aldi once decided to install a machine that bakes bread in seconds for customers. While this angered some German bakers, it confirmed to its customers that Aldi is serious about its bread being freshly baked. The bread that's offered at Aldi under their own labels, Lovin, and Specially Selected, are made by Bimbo Bakeries, whose customers also include McDonald's and Wendy's, among others. Fresh loaves get stocked on Wednesdays along with the produce. While that sure is a good time to waltz into the store to pick one up, there is an even better day to buy it. Some quick back-of-the-napkin math tells us that by waiting it out a few days, you get the bread for half the price. According to food blogger Lauren Grootman, simply look on the package for the expiration date. If it is expiring in 6 days and it is nearing the end of the day, wait until tomorrow to get it at a deep discount. Though Lovin white bread is priced at less than $1 to start with, according to Instacart, isn't there always a thrill in getting a discount anyway? It only takes a little bit of dissatisfaction with your bag of chips to be able to return it for a refund and replacement at Aldi. The grocery chain is so confident about the quality of its products that it offers what it calls a twice-as-nice guarantee. As per a discussion on Reddit, Aldi almost always honors this guarantee. One shopper got a refund and replacement for a box of cookies that they weren't satisfied with, and another got a double refund for a spreadable salad dressing with no questions asked. The shoppers say that the items have to be taken back to the store without delay to get both the refund and replacement, or in some cases, a double refund. The cashiers never give you that questioning Larry David stare down when you say you didn't like something.
Okay.
One shopper on Reddit had this to say about their experience returning something to Aldi. I was buying a watermelon and mentioned the last one I bought at Aldi wasn't good, so she didn't charge me for the replacement melon. Another shopper wrote, quote, I once bought 2 pounds mozzarella that went bad, so I returned it and got 2 pounds of mozzarella worth of goods and my money back as well. So can you return anything? No, there is of course a limit to being nice. The guarantee doesn't apply to special buy items, alcohol, or the national brands.
Next time you're looking for eggs, you might want to skip sourcing them from everyone's favorite standby bargain grocer, Aldi. Now, keep in mind that we're not talking about Aldi's Prosecco-infused chocolate eggs that came out around Easter 2020. Those are heavenly, and you should definitely get those. Seriously, you'll feel like they make your life a little more complete. We're talking about the hen-laid carton eggs that you buy on a weekly basis for your Sunday morning breakfast. Basically, even though Aldi is great for almost everything else, it's not a great idea to buy your eggs from Aldi these days, at least until 2025. Why? By then, Aldi has committed to only selling eggs laid by hens in cage-free facilities. Good on them. That's no small thing, especially considering that as of 2015, around 97% of all egg-laying hens in the US are raised in battery cages, with less space to move than a piece of standard notebook paper. By 2025, Aldi will be leading the way in the United States towards more humane food sourcing policies. But until 2025, if you're going to buy Aldi, buy organic. Aldi's cheaper eggs are branded Gold Hen, which are sourced from Roseacre Farms, one of the country's largest egg suppliers. But unfortunately, Roseacre Farms does not have the best rap sheet. As Aldi reviewer will tell you, even the cheaper eggs you'll find at Aldi are certified as, quote, raised humanely. But what does that label really mean when it comes to the lives of the hens who lay them? In 2019, the company went on public record trying to push back on California state regulations safeguarding animal rights. Among other things, they lobbied to include ramps in the calculation of the amount of floor space necessary to ensure that hens are not cruelly confined, and to limit the definition of an egg-laying hen to mature chickens, and not just any female domesticated chicken. That's odd.
Well, it wasn't in a tree, it was in a hole. Yeah, I mean, it's like a rat's egg or something.
In 2018, the FDA investigated Roseacre Farms and found dirty chicken houses, rodent infestations, and their investigation uncovered hauntingly similar conditions to what undercover investigators from the Humane Society found 8 years prior. Hens in filthy conditions, unable to reach food, suffering from broken bones, prolapsed uteruses, and nestled in among rotting corpses, which we're not going to show you for obvious reasons. That particular undercover investigation led to a lawsuit in which plaintiffs also called the company out for misleading imagery on its packaging and marketing free-roaming eggs, a label that doesn't even really apply to eggs. More troubling still is that the unsanitary conditions that Roseacre Farms has come under constant scrutiny for in the last decade are not solely an animal rights issue. They could also directly affect your health. because that 2018 FDA investigation, it wasn't random. The FDA inspected Roseacre Farms due to a salmonella outbreak linked to the company's shell eggs. Before we go any further, if you bought Aldi eggs in 2018, you can breathe. The salmonella outbreak did not apparently infect eggs distributed to Aldi, which has probably as much to do with luck as anything else. Briefly, the 2018 outbreak infected 45 people who experienced diarrhea, fever, and abdominal cramps and led to 11 hospitalizations in 10 states. In hindsight, the outbreak is hardly surprising. In 2012, ABC News reported that eggs from cage-confined hens were almost 8 times more likely to harbor salmonella bacteria than non-caged hens. While the FDA investigation into Roseacre Farms led the company to voluntarily recall over 206 million eggs it had distributed domestically, the same salmonella-infected eggs were shipped to the Bahamas, Haiti, Aruba, the Cayman Islands, St. Martin, and St. Bart's, where the FDA has no authority to intervene. What's the moral of the story? Stay away from Aldi's gold hen eggs just to be on the safe side. And until 2025, maybe opt for their Simply Nature cage-free organic eggs. These are certified humane according to Humane Farm Animal Care and are inspected annually by the organization.
Want milk? Aldi's got milk. Cow's milk, almond milk, heck, the popular chain has even got coconut milk, if that's how you roll. But here's the question, is Aldi really the place you should be buying your milk? Let's investigate. Sure, there's a lot to love about Aldi. After all, the bargain supermarket chain embraces a no-frills model that offers efficiency, low prices, and some great products. You can buy fridge staples like butter and milk right alongside pantry staples like pasta and canned goods. What's more, Aldi is known for special finds that only pop up on shelves for a limited time, and that only adds to the immense appeal of shopping there. Honestly, you never know what you'll find at Aldi, unless you happen to keep track of the weekly ads and plan all your trips in advance. But let's get real here. Aldi doesn't hit the mark with every product every time. For example, the next time you're at Aldi, you may want to steer clear of the milk. As you may have noticed, Aldi's milk is quite inexpensive when compared to the milk you'll find at other grocery stores. After all, Aldi is committed to keeping operating costs as low as possible. That's why all their stores are on the small side, follow the same format, and offer a limited product selection. It's also why items like shopping carts and shopping bags are considered added luxuries at Aldi. Aldi's milk is sold under the name Friendly Farms, which might help the chain keep its milk prices so low. After all, it's not a big brand name. Or is it? In 2011, the author of James Ordinary Guy Reviews looked up the code on a bottle of Friendly Farms milk and discovered that it actually comes from major milk distributor Kemp's. It turns out, Aldi milk is cheap not because it's inferior, but because it doesn't carry a more prominent brand name, like, say, Kemp's.
Kemp's. It's milk on a mission.
Here's another word to the wise. You may want to check the prices on milk in several markets in your area, because Aldi might not be your cheapest option. According to a post on the Frugal Minded Mom website, prices for milk can vary greatly in states where there are no set minimums on the price. She found that her local Aldi in Florida sells milk for as much as $3.49, whereas another Aldi store about 25 minutes away from her sells it for $2.44. Aldi reportedly compares its prices to competitors in the area, which means the cost of milk can change drastically depending on the prices at other nearby stores. Confused? Not to worry. Frugal Minded Mom is here to break it all down for you. As the author writes, since my local Aldi only has a Publix or Winn-Dixie nearby to compare to, prices are much higher than the store 25 minutes away that has a BJ's Wholesale and Walmart nearby. Okay, but what about buying almond milk at Aldi? Once again, you may want to think twice, or at least check the ingredient list before buying it.
Who you pouring that for, man?
Order for you.
Fine, but not out here.
According to the Wise Bread website, Aldi's almond milk, cottage cheese, and a few other dairy products might contain carrageenan. It's a thickener and stabilizer that might be associated with various stomach issues. Joanne K. Tabachman, MD, has extensively researched the biological effects of carrageenan and believes the additive is harmful and can potentially cause inflammation in the body. This is a concerning discovery because chronic inflammation can lead to many serious diseases like cancer, Parkinson's, heart disease, and Alzheimer's. Dr. Tabachman claims that lab mice who were exposed to small amounts of carrageenan for 18 days developed a profound level of glucose intolerance and impaired insulin action, both of which can lead to diabetes. In conclusion, you may want to avoid buying cow's milk and almond milk the next time you're at Aldi, at least until you price check regular milk and look at the label of non-dairy milks. Hey, you can't be too careful nowadays, right?
The champion of U.S. discount supermarkets, Aldi, is going to be getting some serious competition. Straight from their home country, German grocery chain Lidl is also taking a stab at the American grocery market. While the two chains have a ton of similarities, they also have some pretty stark differences. Heading stateside, In 2017, Lidl kicked off a serious push into the US. They already had more than 10,000 stores across 28 countries, and that's plenty of time to figure out what works and what doesn't. Strangely, if you stop into any of Lidl's original 53 American stores, they're almost nothing like their European counterparts. In Europe, Lidl stores are incredibly streamlined. Just like Aldi's, their products are about 90% their own private label, and they have an average footprint of only 10,000 square feet. They only stock between 1,000 and 1,500 products, keeping their overhead low while still carrying all the basics customers need. Lidl USA stores were built to be about twice the size, and they carry an average of about 4 times as many products. The increased overhead may at least partially explain why they've opened fewer stores than they planned. Aldi versus Lidl. Aldi is already hugely popular in the US, so what's the difference between these two chains and why do we need another one? They both have their strengths. Lidl tends to stock more name brand products than Aldi, so if that's a deal breaker for your family, you might want to head there. Aldi scores better when it comes to offering European selections of things like meat and cheeses, and seems to have a wider selection of produce than Lidl. While Aldi brought their coin-operated shopping carts to the US, Lidl didn't. Marketing surveys have shown that customers actually rate Lidl more favorably than Aldi, and that's a huge deal. Lidl scores higher in things like price, freshness, and quality, and surveys have also found that about half of Aldi regulars also shop at Lidl. Is it possible that Aldi has competition? What's in a name? Lidl wasn't the first choice for the name of the chain, but that first choice, Schwarzmarkt, just couldn't happen if they planned on expanding to English-speaking countries. It translates to black market, so you can see why they decided to find something else. It was decided store co-owner and retired school teacher Ludwig Lidl would be paid for the rights to use his name for the store. You might think he struck it big and could live secure in the knowledge his name was plastered all over a multi-billion-dollar company, but you'd be wrong. Lidl got just 1,000 Deutschmarks for the use of his name. When the stores opened in the 1970s, that was around $500.
This is not my decision, but from here on out, we can no longer be friends.
Super secretive. Dieter Schwartz opened the first Lidl in 1973 and built his company on the foundations of the warehouses set up by his father, Joseph. He's still at the head of it all, and according to Bloomberg, he has complete control over every decision that's made. He's worth a staggering $22.1 billion. But he's so private that even those in his hometown of Heilbronn either don't know who he is or aren't admitting they do. There's hints about secret addresses for his office, pastors who stay mum about rumors that he occasionally preaches from the pulpit, and whispers of charitable projects funded by a mysterious benefactor who insists he goes unnamed. Anyone who tries to find him is stonewalled at every turn, and an entire city stays quiet when it comes to the billionaire businessman. Reports from The Guardian say Lidl's corporate structure is just as secretive and includes a web of close-knit, interconnected companies, foundations, boards, and councils that, well, honestly, no one's really sure who they are or what they do. Lidl Fashion. Lidl made their fortune in the grocery business, but they branched out in 2017 when they announced they were going to be partnering with Heidi Klum for their own affordable but fashionable clothing line. Klum's Lidl line is her first complete fashion line, and she said it's the combination of Lidl's international reach and reputation for affordability that makes it a perfect market for her. It might seem like an unlikely outlet, but she said she's excited to have her clothes on sale at a store that's mostly known for groceries. I'm proud to have a range in the supermarket. I wanted to put it in everyone's faces that we are in a supermarket, she said. American Overhaul. The CEO of Lidl's parent company, the Schwartz Group, called their foray into America a disaster. It went so badly that plans for new stores stalled, with some projects halted in mid-application. They wanted 100 US stores open by 2018, but barely managed half that before pulling the proverbial plug and going back to the drawing board. What went wrong? Lidl counts on their low prices to get customers in the door, but things are a little different in America. There's some insane competition in America's grocery store market, and well-established chains have price-matching programs that even the playing field quite a bit. Add in some poor location choices, and Lidl floundered. They're not giving up just quite yet, though. A new US CEO took the helm in 2018, and there's still a huge potential for Lidl to step up. In a society where households are, on the whole, getting smaller, older, and more budget-conscious, Lidl could be just the sort of store Americans could come to love.
Aldi is bare bones and no frills, but would you believe they have a few tricks to get customers to spend more money? You might not have noticed what they do to encourage customers to buy more. Keep watching for what you may have fallen for. One incredibly clever trick Aldi uses to encourage customers to spend more is by making it as low risk as possible to do so. The company has a generous return policy, dubbed the Aldi Twice as Nice Guarantee, that promises customers who are not totally satisfied with the product can bring it back to the store along with the receipt and get a full refund as well as a replacement product. Overall, the policy encourages shoppers to try new things and maybe buy more products because you have nothing to lose. If you don't love something, you can get double your money back. It's worth noting that there are a few products that are not covered by the Twice as Nice Guarantee, including alcohol, but the store will usually give either a replacement or a refund. One of the most blatant ways Aldi tempts shoppers to spend more money is through its weekly rotating selection of specialized products. The products range from all kinds of household items to premium food items to quirky seasonal items. These special buys, or Aldi finds in the US, are limited time and limited quantity products. The inventory changes every week, and once an item is sold out, it's gone. And some items literally fly off the shelves within seconds. These rotating weekly specials help create a sense of urgency and encourage shoppers to buy now so as not to miss out on a potential deal. Some shoppers just can't resist the impulse.
It's a freaking adventure.
You only went in for bread.
Bread?
For those who really can't say no to a bargain, you might want to avoid Aldi stores right after a holiday. According to grocery bloggers, Aldi offers some pretty steep clearance discounts after major holidays like Valentine's Day, Halloween, Christmas, and Easter. And when we say steep, we mean it. Markdowns can be anywhere from 50 to 75% off, and the discounts apply to both food and non-food items. This trick really targets those shoppers who can't help but stock up during a sale, although it's worth pointing out that these shoppers who end up spending more on clearance items may end up getting the best deals in the long run. Smart shopping experts advise that the days and weeks right after a holiday are the best time to stock up on gear and decor for next year's festivities. It makes sense considering that stores are looking to get rid of all their leftover stock and prepare for a new round of inventory. Aldi now offers shoppers the option to have their groceries delivered via Instacart in more than 95% of its stores. However, this convenient service can wind up costing shoppers more money. Sure, there's the Instacart delivery fee, which customers have come to expect. On top of that, Aldi says that some products may be more expensive when purchasing them on Instacart versus in-store. Aldi doesn't say much about why this is the case, other than to cover the cost of personal shopping from order to order. While it makes sense you'll be paying to have someone do your shopping for you, you might find it worth it not to have to go out in public.
I love this sunscreen and I love this sunscreen, but I do not love the living.
Still, you might also end up spending extra money on bags when ordering delivery. Aldi does not waive those bag fees even for Instacart couriers, and you could have that cost passed on to you depending on where you are. According to shoppers who have used the service, Instacart notes on its website that a bag fee may be added to your final total if required by law or the retailer. The fee will be visible on your receipt after delivery. Speaking of shopping bags, Aldi inevitably ends up making more money off customers every day because of its well-known shopping bag policy. The company encourages shoppers to bring their own bags when shopping because it's more environmentally friendly and helps cut down on waste, as well as cutting down on costs for the store. But at the same time, Aldi also makes it really easy and convenient for customers to buy shopping bags right there at the register. The company offers plastic, paper, and more durable reusable bags ranging in price. Whether you forgot to grab your shopping bags for a last-minute grocery run, or you just can't be bothered to lug your cart full of stuff home unbagged, Aldi has got you covered for a price. Another way Aldi gets shoppers to spend a little more in the store is by only offering certain items in bulk quantities. Some of Aldi's goods, including a lot of their fruits and vegetables, are sold in bulk packaging. That means if you want to pick up some apples or oranges for the week, you might not be able to buy just 1 or 2 of each. You have to buy a whole bag of them. Depending on what you need, that could add some extra costs. Items like potatoes and onions specifically only come in 2 or 5 pound bags, which is a lot. Do you really use more than 1 or 2 onions in a week? Most of us know what it's like to browse the grocery store aisles on a weekly shopping run and end up coming home with a few extra items that caught our eye. Aldi capitalizes on this tendency with a strategic store design that helps to maximize your shopping experience while encouraging you to browse every aisle, hopefully finding more products to buy along the way. When you walk into most grocery stores, one of the first things you see is the produce section. At most Aldi stores, you'll instead find pantry items in the front, with produce stocked at the back along with bread. Aldi says the reason for their layout is to help customers keep delicate items on top so that they won't get damaged by sturdier items in the cart. But it also means that you'll have to make your way through the whole store even if you only need to pick up some apples and a loaf of bread. Stores also tend to put the Aldi Finds section in the center of the stores. Aldi reportedly says this helps improve customer flow to avoid crowds. Less crowding makes it easier to browse the towering displays of limited-time specialty items while also having to make your way through the other aisles, all in the hopes of making some seriously happy and slightly less rich customers.
Aldi's Winking Owl wine has received mixed reviews from critics and consumers who have found themselves unable to agree on how they feel about the wine brand. So, what exactly is the deal with this super cheap wine? Let's dive in to learn the truth about Winking Owl wine. Wine lovers who haven't already tried a glass of Winking Owl may be wondering what all of the hype is about. Is it even possible to get a bottle of wine that's both cheap and delicious? That's up for debate, and you'll only really know if you try it. Even if you've never poured yourself a glass of Winking Owl, you've probably sipped one of the brand's pretty famous cousins at some point. Winking Owl, which is produced in California, is part of the E&J Gallo family of wines, and although it isn't listed in their portfolio, sources confirm that Gallo does indeed make it. The family-owned company was founded by brothers Ernest and Giulio Gallo in 1933 and is a major player in the wine game. The winemakers behind Boone's Farm have several other well-known brands of vino in its portfolio, including Apothic, Barefoot, and Turning Leaf. When it comes to wine, tastes vary. Some wine lovers enjoy sipping a sweet white, while others prefer to linger over a deep, rich red. But no matter what kind of wine your palate is craving, Winking Owl has you covered. The brand makes 10 varieties of wines that range from a sweet Moscato to a full-bodied Cabernet Sauvignon. Winking Owl wine is available in 5 varieties of red, including a medium-bodied red blend which comes in a 3-liter box. When you're looking for something to pair with your seafood, there are 4 types of white wine on the market, including a Pinot Grigio, which was awarded 86 points and a silver medal by the Beverage Testing Institute in 2013. And when you're having a picnic or backyard barbecue, there is a Winking Owl White Zinfandel to quench your thirst. Keep in mind that every store's inventory is different, so you may have to shop around before you find exactly what you're looking for. On the plus side, once you found it, you can stock up at low prices. Aldi is building a following as the place to get a good bottle of wine at a low price. As an Aldi representative told Eating Well, approximately 90% of the store's wine selections cost less than $10. And of those brands, Winking Owl is one of the wines on the lower end of the price spectrum. Prices around the country vary, but on average, a bottle of Winking Owl is priced at just under $3, and you shouldn't see it for more than $5. That means you can get an entire bottle of Winking Owl wine for less than the price of a latte at your favorite coffee shop. And let's face it, who buys just one bottle of wine? Wine lovers looking to get their booze on a budget may be willing to overlook some of the negative reviews Winking Owl wines have received in order to save a little money in the long run. And remember, just because one person doesn't like it, that doesn't mean you won't. Grapes are the main ingredient in wine, but vegetarians and vegans still have a reason to pay attention to how their wine is made. During the winemaking process, animal products such as gelatin and egg whites are often added to help speed up the process of removing all of the impurities and unwanted ingredients that are left in the wine after fermentation. This method of using processing aids helps wine get from the vineyard to your table a lot faster than if the process was left to happen naturally. But your wine can no longer be considered vegan if any of that animal product is left behind. Since winemakers won't necessarily advertise whether or not their wines are truly vegan, vegans can take advantage of the Barnivore Alcohol Directory, which maintains a searchable database of information on wine brands. The directory lists Winking Owl as not vegan-friendly, but a representative at Winking Owl told Barnivore, the treatment of wines with milk or egg products is a common wine industry practice and is done by winemakers as needed to provide the appropriate treatment and clarity to the wine. These milk or egg products are removed during the filtering of the wines after treatment. In addition, we go one step further to verify that milk or egg products are not detectable after filtration by testing each lot of wine that is treated. Is that good enough for you, or no? It's no secret that Aldi crushes the competition when it comes to finding a lower-priced alternative to almost everything on your grocery list. And although you can shop at just about any one of Aldi's more than 1,600 stores across the United States for an affordable selection of cheese, bread, and other pantry staples, shoppers in some parts of the country are not able to take advantage of Aldi's amazing, inexpensive wine selection. Unfortunately, in certain states, including New York, Mississippi, and Arkansas, wine can only be purchased in a liquor store. If you're unsure about the laws for wine and liquor sales in your area, you can use their handy store locator to see if your Aldi store has Winking Owl or other wines in stock. If they don't, you can always search for the closest store across the state line that sells wine and gas up your car for a Winking Owl road trip.